In this quick tip, I'm going to show you how to keep the intensities of your node's effects consistent regardless of a change in scale. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so I have a spots 2 noise here and I have a blur. And now notice if I increase the scale of our spots 2, the blur is overpowering our noise here. And what we like to have happen is we'd like to have this blur effect remain consistent regardless of the scale that this noise is at. Now to do this, we're going to use a node called Make Scale Invariant. Now, if you're having trouble finding this node, you can see in the top left corner, there's this advanced node icon. And to enable advanced nodes and features, you can go to InstaMAT's preferences, go to the advanced tab and choose show advanced features. You can toggle this on, and then you're also going to have to toggle on library graphs. And so the Make Scale Invariant node has a few inputs here. The base value is the intensity that you'd like to achieve regardless of the changing scale. And the base scale is the scale that you know the base value looks good at. So for example, we know that, let's say, we want our blur to be an intensity of 0.25, and we'd like our scale to be, let's see, I think that this blur looks pretty good at a scale of 8. So my base value is now 0.25 because that is the intensity of the blur that we know we like. And at spots 2, we like the scale at 8. So our base scale is going to be 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand the properties of this blur, and I'm going to pipe in this output of our Make Scale Invariant to the intensity input of the blur. And so the last input here that we have is the current scale, and that is the scale that we're currently working at, that we're currently viewing in our graph. So what I like to do is I like to expose this current scale as a graph input here. And I'd like this new graph input to drive not only the current scale of the Make Scale Invariant node, but also the scale of our spots too. Now to do that, I need to do some conversions here, and I'm just going to make a UVec2. Now I need to drive both the X and Y here of this UVec2, and I'm going to pipe this into the scale for these spots too. Now, if I zoom out here and we take a look at the results, if I change this current scale, now I'm going to go to my graph object editor, right click it, and change this control type to a slider to make things easier to see in this demonstration. Now, if I increase our scale, you can see that the blur is no longer overriding and blurring out our noise, but it's remaining consistent regardless of what scale our noise is at. And you can see in our Make Scale Invariant node that the number is decreasing because the scale is getting larger. To demonstrate this even further, you can see I have a version down here without the Make Scale Invariant float driving the intensity of this blur. And as I increase the scale, you can see the difference here. We have the consistent blur here, and if I just view the output of this blur, it's much blurrier, completely blowing out our noise. So here's another quick example where we have a tile scatter, a purlin noise, and we are warping that tile scatter with that purlin noise. And now if I increase this current scale attribute with our Make Scale Invariant, you can see we're getting some overly warped results. And that's because for some nodes, you're going to have to toggle on this output squared parameter, and that's going to give us a more desirable result. So now we'll get that consistent warp with our scale, regardless of what our scale is at for our purlin noise and our tile scatter. The Make Scale Invariant node allows you to easily make the calculations needed to keep the intensities of your nodes consistent regardless of a change in scale. By the way, we only looked at the scale decrease mode, but there's also a scale increase mode which has the inverse effect. Now, if you're interested in other videos like these, check out our YouTube channel. We've got lots of quick tips covering a variety of nodes and features in InstaMAT, as well as more extensive videos and series showcasing MAT's power. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, drop us a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. For the latest news about InstaMAT, please visit our website and follow us on Twitter. You can find all the links in the video description below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.